love the creativity of people to just let me.
Hey guys, we have another New Zealand video for you, another day trip we took there, and this one is at the Coromandel Peninsula.
Is it Coromandel or Coromandel? I think our tour guide pronounced it Coromandel.
I think it's Coromandel, but I don't know, maybe you New Zealanders can help us out here. So it's a peninsula at the North Island,
Yep.
and it's kind of like across from Auckland, where we stayed and where the capital is. So apparently you can take a boat, like a ferry boat there, or you can drive there. And we chose to drive there because
There's a lot to see. There's a lot to see on the road. You're going to see us going through the car. We walked around. We got out.
it's just worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was actually a pretty stormy and windy day, but it cleared up right in the middle, I think. So we got a little bit of everything. You can get the full experience through our video here.
We were also very lucky because we had a wonderful guide, and thank you so much if you ever watch this video that shared our passion for, stopping at the side of the road and just taking in the views.
Yeah.
And she knew the good spots. So, how can you beat that, right?
She did mention that it was a pretty new development. Like she thought if she bought like a house at Coromandel when she was younger, she'd be rich now. So it's one of those places.
It's one of the vacation places for Auckland. And it's kind of like coastal, so it has a lot of houses on the beach. It has a lot of beaches that apparently people swim.
It was a bit of a cold time when we went. I don't know how the seasons work.
No,
over
it was summer, but I think we just got a kind of
Yeah.
a rainy day, like a kind of a chill.
There's
chill
also
day.
beach like everywhere you go. So even though you don't see people on the beach here, it's not like one of those things where it's like the beach. The beach is everywhere. It's like intertwined coastline and on the islands and everywhere. So
Yeah, we just
There are people.
took the road that goes coast, like just a coastal like highway. And remember that New Zealand they drive on the right,
on the wrong side of the road.
the wrong, which is
That's the word you were looking for.
no, they drive on the left side of the road, so I could sit on the passenger seat and like just have the ocean like right next to me. So yeah, that's it. New Zealand has so many native species, and I'm sorry I don't remember all of the names, but a lot of them are just there. Like we stopped,
Bird with red beak. There you go.
and they were just sitting around. They were pretty friendly. I even fed some of the birds. Like,
I think you're supposed to do that.
what do you mean? We had seeds and stuff.
Oh, we did?
I fed them seeds. Do you remember?
I don't remember.
That was in Rotorua.
Okay.
But I don't know. I guess we didn't get video of that.
I don't remember. I know there was a sign to not feed the duckies at the harbor, and like everyone else was feeding the duckies at the harbor.
The swans.
Swans.
They weren't.
Everything that looks like a duck is a duck in my book. Anyway, so here we are closing in on the main event at Coromandel. It is what is it? The Driving Creek Railway.
Yes.
What's that?
So it's a tiny open train that goes through a tropical forest, which is kind of private.
It's also on I don't know if it's a mountain, but it's a steep incline.
Yeah, through like tropical forest, some really sketchy bridges. It goes to outlooks, and it ends up. It's a round trip, but halfway they stop, and you can go up an outlook tower that we're gonna see it there. It's kind of it has a funny name, but I'm not gonna say it yet.
Oh, okay.
So this was bought back in the 60s, I believe, by Barry. Wait, I have it here. Barry
Brickell.
Brickell. And it was meant to be, and that's why you see all these
Tools.
quaint,
and-
let's
yeah.
say, things there.
It was basically he made this train
it was
for
meant
his private business.
To be a pottery collective. So it was meant to basically host artists that kind of wanted to connect with the nature, mostly potters.
And And the train initially was to carry pots and shit.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't like
and
now.
you will see that along the road, it has left and right a whole bunch of artwork.
So nowadays, you go there, you pay your admission fee, you get a nice little train ride, it's sweet. But like, you have to keep in mind that it wasn't built for that purpose. So that's why it looks the way it does. That's why it's actually really tiny. It looks like a ride at like, okay, I don't know what most people American, right? So Canada's Wonderland. I don't know, like Disneyland.
It's kind of
like a Disneyland ride.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
roller coaster.
A roller coaster, yeah, kind. But it goes through amazing nature, and it is tiny. Like it's just two people on its like,
barely. I would
cart.
say barely two people.
You choose where you sit, and somehow everyone sat at the back. So we're like, okay, we'll sit right behind the driver, and we kind of got rewarded for that because.
Also, this is not in reverse, guys. There's only one track, so it goes back and forth.
Yeah, here's the thing. Not only does it go back and forth, but because it has a lot of incline, and it can't just it can't go up so steeply. It has a lot of like X-shaped intersections, and what it does is that it goes further than the driver on the rails. The driver gets off. He switches manually the rails to the other part of the intersection of the X, and then he goes like back, and then he does the same thing. I don't know how many times, like a dozen of times, to just slowly and gradually climb up the mountain. So yeah, that's why you see a lot of back and forth. I don't know if it was a mountain. Like, it's kind of like, it is a mountain. It is a mountain.
The whole area there is very inclined. Like, it's mountainy. It's everywhere. So I don't know if this is like a mountain. I don't know if a mountain has a name. It might just be like very steep hills everywhere. But yeah, you'll see when we get to the top of the lookout point just how it is around. But it is wild. And
so it's
it's New Zealand. You have to
super
keep in mind. A lot of the trees, specifically here, but in for the most part in New Zealand, they look very different if you're looking at them far away, like kind of above, and if you're like in the midst of them, which is kind of how we
from
are
above
here.
they basically look like a bed of like foliage. It has like two or three I think, I'm not sure, tunnels, like tiny tunnels, and a whole bunch of, as I said, very very questionable bridges, sketchy bridges.
Well, again, like,
and you need to have your eyes open because all like that left and right there are a whole bunch of like little pottery like artwork.
Yep.
And there's also I think we have it somewhere. I hope I have some good footage of it. Most of the retaining walls along the rails are done from, do you remember, bottles?
Plantings?
Like
bottles?
Glass bottles, yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I think I have it like somewhere.
I've seen that on a number of like nature building alternative materials YouTubes I've seen.
Yes, very danger.
But yeah, you have to keep in mind. So this was like one guy's like little project in his pottery commune. He worked on this thing I think for over a decade before it was open, I think, in private only.
Yeah, it opened like in the 70s, like for private use, for his like pottery artist
I think
collective.
he had pottery parties.
And
it was the 70s, remember?
We don't know the context of the pots, there. And he's actually, he lived and died there. He's buried
there
along that railway because it was literally
he has like a
life.
grave site. It didn't like run him over or anything.
His life's work.
Yeah.
Right. It's a pretty amazing place.
You see a lot of the pottery artworks around. There are a few stops. Like I think they stop the train physically.
Sorry, there's one of the retaining walls. All of that's on the left. Bottles. All of that is bottles, glass bottles.
Yeah. There's a number of stops throughout. See, like that one. But if you actually take the train ride yourself, it'll generally just stop and you stay on the train for the most part at some of the areas where it goes back and forth. You just kind of stay while the driver goes from one end to the other. Okay, there's the bottles. I think he actually said that they were his bottles.
I don't remember that.
I think he did.
I don't remember that. But someone
I told you guys, it's party time. Party time.
And I think it's about 3 kilometers or so, like round trip approximately. But it takes, it's a tiny train, goes slow. It takes about an hour or more.
I think the whole trip up and down and the time that you spent up top on the lookout tower is about an hour, yeah. But it's pretty worth it. And it's a very New Zealand experience. You get to experience nature alongside something else. That seems to be a bit of a theme there, as you guys have seen in our other videos. We do have a few more to come, so keep watching out for those. We're going in reverse here, right? Because we're at the back.
It also
we got screwed.
I keep saying round trip, but it's not really a round trip. The train never goes anywhere around and turns back. It just has engines, like locomotive, both on one and the other side. So in many cases he just gets off and goes to the other side and drives it from the other side of the train.
You can see a lot of the brickwork and like the design of it. I really like that kind of thing where someone, they have a slice of land, a slice of life, and they just, kind of they get as artistic as they can be within that space. There you go. And those things, those are ferns. In New Zealand, and you've seen some of these in the other videos because they're everywhere, not just in Coromandel. But those ferns in New Zealand, they're massive. They're like tree-sized ferns. Yeah. We can't get the ferns to grow like 2 feet.
Than him.
2 feet. And then it's like done. It's like, the sun and the water, it just didn't quite have the right ratio as I was looking for, so I'm just going to fall over and die. That's the Canadian fern experience that we've had. I don't know how they're tree-sized over there.
And I do believe that here we are at midway at the outlook. I think it's about 160 meters or so. Mm-hmm. And it's called the Eiffel Tower.
It's Eiffel.
And you're going to see why. It really gets your eyes full. But it's kind of a funny little pun with Eiffel Tower, I guess.
There's a few stories in the tower, and the tower has a pretty nice construction. It's very cabin-y, where everything has it's made of actual wood pieces. It kind of follows the design of everything else around. You can really tell the work that went into it, and I really love that look as well. So here we are, just going round and round as we're going up this slow ramp.
It's like a hexagonal, or
is it hexagon?
Or
I think it
octagon?
is.
I think it's a hexagon, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you can see around.
Just go like a spiral around it.
You can see hills and mountains absolutely all over the place. Oh, now I remember. So he bought the land, and his pottery business wasn't doing as well as he thought. And he made the train for the pottery business and some of his friends and stuff. And he needed to pay the bank back for the land, and he wasn't making ends meet basically. And that's why he opened the train to private gatherings and then public gatherings.
Yeah, that's the main room of the tower. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice design.
Not too bad. Not too shabby.
I think they completed this final station. I think it was 2005, plus minus a year. I'm not 100% sure.
It's newer, much newer.
Yeah.
It does have a barbecue. No, I'm just laughing at your face there. It does have a barbecue, though. That is a really nice spot for a barbecue party.
Is it?
To say, isn't it?
They probably rent it out.
Come on.
They probably rent it out. Why not? But yeah, you can see everything from above there. The hills, the environment. And overall, it's a really beautiful place. On the way back, it's not exactly the same experience because it's one of those things where you're always passing something.
This is really crucial because you're literally at the edge of this platform. This does feel like a roller coaster.
Doesn't it?
It silences you.
But yeah, it's one of those things where you're always looking at something because it's not just nature. There's all these little statues. There's the tunnels. There's the bottle wall. And there is the nature as well. So on the way back, we do get a little bit of a different view. One of us on the other side gets a different view anyway. And it's quite a marvel. And certainly I would recommend this, but there is more to see in Coromandel as well. It is mostly a beach town, so if you're a beach goer, it might be worth it to go just for that.
I do believe we have a short video later from one of the beaches.
Yeah, but when we went to New Zealand, our intention wasn't really to just get our feet wet and stuff. So we mostly wanted to see around, see the different sites, and do a few interesting things. But we didn't go like dipping ourselves in the water or anything like that. But certainly there is an occasion for that. Look at that!
And
Look at all those
Lots of
ferns.
surf. We don't surf.
How do
but-
they trim them? Like those ferns are all in line. Do they have like a fern whisperer on site? He's like tells them, it's like, okay, you settle down now.
Maybe the beginning of the season, the people on the train don't have it too easy.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Maybe it's just trimmed by use, you know?
I don't know. That could be. I think this is his burial site, by the way. This is Barry Brickle's burial site. So yeah, it's quite it's a really lifetime project. So he bought the land in the early 60s, opened it in mid 70s, and completed the top in 2005. And I think, yeah, obviously a project like this, it's not like one and done. Like it requires a lot of maintenance and work.
Duckies, tiny duckies.
So that's actually duckies?
I'm not sure. I don't think they're like ducks, but they're some kind of native species duck. And by the way, yeah, just to finish with the train, as quaint as it looks, it is considered like considerable, significant like civil engineering, work, because you can't tell maybe if you're not there, but the incline in some places is super steep.
Yeah, for
in the
sure. There
mountain.
had many challenges getting the thing going as it is today. And yeah, you can see some of these. I'm sure are just locals just hanging out on the beach. Some
Yeah, that's just
visiting
a random beach. That's
towns
not
around.
even a famous beach. Like it does. I don't even remember the name. I'm sorry. I don't even
Yeah.
remember the name of it. But it's not a popular or a very well known. It's just
particularly.
we asked, like, our guide asked if we wanted to stop at a beach, and we're like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I went seashell hunting.
Mm-hmm.
They had some very colorful ones. But that's it
Right.
for this one, guys. Thank you guys for joining us on another adventure in New Zealand.
And stay tuned for more.
That's right.